Hi, this is Arshad Devani, a tech speaker and an entrepreneur. As part of this particular workshop, we are going to create 3D models, and we are going to do this using AI. We are going to generate these 3D models, and then finally we are going to host this particular models using Firebase, and we are going to utilize another beautiful technology of web AR. So for people who don't know what web AR is, it is augmented reality. Ever seen how models are being generated, or have you ever played Pokemon Go? In that you would see that the Pokemon are rendered on your actual environment. Web AR allows you to do exactly the same thing. So we are going to generate the 3D model, and then we are going to host this particular model to make sure that you can see it around your room. And make sure that you attend this particular workshop, because we want to see how you are going to generate, and make sure that you are going to share those models with us as well. As part of this workshop, we are going to use MSI Raider 18HX AI, which is powered with latest Intel Core Ultra 9 processor series 2, coupled with the NVIDIA Blackwell GeForce RTX 5090 laptop GPU with a total TDP of 260 watts. This powerhouse ensures uncompromised speed for gaming, AI workloads, and content creation. Featuring a stunning 18-inch 4K mini LED display with 120Hz refresh rate, it is crafted for creators and it elevates the experience for all the gamers. The addition of Super RAID 5 SSD technology ensures blazing fast storage performance, enabling quicker load times and seamless multitasking. I hope you have now started working out on all your set of images. You have brilliant ideas, I'm pretty much sure. Now we are going to bring up the ante up furthermore. We are going to start generating 3D. So we will be generating models, we'll be generating some characters, we'll try to generate some characters, and then we are going to learn something even more better. We are going to make these models live. So we will try to animate some, or we might make it available live for world. So we are going to learn how you can publish your character models or any of your models for people to see around. And guess what? How are you going to do this? You're going to use AR. AR stands for augmented reality. And guess what? We are going to use web AR. Web AR means you can literally go ahead and use any device. So it will literally work on your mobile apps. So you don't really have to download the app or anything of that sort, but just open up a URL, a simple website, and using that you will be able to give this experience of your own model going out to the world. And then of course you can send it to us as well via the comments, and we would love to see them. So let's get back. We have a big workshop this time, and then we are going to do a lot of things. Let's start off. We are back with our comfy UI. So here's the screen, and then as part of the screen, now we are going to go down and we are going to look at 3D, where you can see there is this model, the only model which is available at this point of time under comfy UI documentation, which is Hunyan 3D. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So this model allows you to create 3D images so you can use images to create 3D models, and this is the way how some of the models which they have created look. Now ideally you would require multiple images to create a model, and that's generally how 3D modelers use as well. If there are any, please do let us know in the comments what type of characters or models you have created, and in case if you are okay to present some of the images as well. So in order for us to generally create any of the character models, we end up in having 3 set of images. The first one is the front image, which basically showcases how it needs to look. The second one is the side image, which helps us to understand the depth. And the third one is the back image, which helps us to get the fine lines. So we don't have a character. We are not going to create a character from these ones at this point of time. So we are not going to use this, but this particular model allows you to create 3D models. You can see the way how this 3D model looks using the images which has been given. But then we are going to try something very different. So we are going to look at a single image driven 3D model, which is something which this model allows. So in order to do this, you will have to download the model. This is a checkpoint model. So .safe tensors file. This is close to around like 4.6 GB if I'm not mistaken, and there's a special instruction for this that you need to rename it because the file is of a particular name and it is linked, so you need to rename it. And once you do that, we are going to go to the third one, which is basically a single image. So as you can see, the model train has been given, and using that model train, this whole 3D object has been created. So we are going to try and create this particular thing using our own image. So let's go ahead, open up Comfy UI. I'm pretty much sure from the last set of workshops you might have learned how to use Comfy UI. If not, check out our previous workshops and you'll be able to see how you can use Comfy UI. And this is the workflow editor which we generally see. I'm going to just take this particular model train image and drag it into my Comfy UI so that the whole generation can happen. You can see the checkpoint model has already been loaded. There are several encoders and decoders which are already there. Our VAE, which is a variable autoencoder, is already there. Everything has been set up already. So all we got to now do is just select the image. So guess what, which one I'm using? I'm going to use Lucky, the mascot of MSI, for doing this. So here's a 3D image which I have. I'm going to zoom in to showcase how beautiful this looks. So we are going to go ahead and try and create this model in terms of a 3D character. Let's go ahead and do, I think everything is already set up. All I got to do is just click on run. When I click on run, it is going to load up the whole model. Oh, instantaneously. I was doing something around this particular part, and that is where it instantaneously loaded. Let's see how this particular model is going to come up. We are going to create it for this mascot, this beautiful mascot. So all we got to now do is, I think everything is set. We can now go ahead and we just have to click on run. When we do this run, it is now loading up the model. It was very quick, and you can see this just literally runs. So it is quite a quick model, and in a couple of seconds you'll be able to see the model coming up. Meanwhile, you can see the GPU usage has gone up. This basically means it requires a lot of GPU for doing this. I'm currently utilizing 5090 with 24 GB. It takes a lot of GPU to generate all of these 3D models. This is MSI Center. It's a tool specifically for MSI devices, which helps you to keep monitoring the different types of CPUs, NPU usage, and GPU usages. It also allows you to go ahead and turn up the MSI AI engine. Right now AI engine is off, but as soon as you turn it on, you can have optimized performance for your PC. So let's say if I turn it on, you're going to have optimized audio, visuals, and performance as part of your systems. So MSI users, here's the thing for you to use. It's definitely a good thing to do, and for people who don't have MSI, good luck. You will have to get an MSI laptop for doing this. And here's the model. I don't think the output has come in that great. We can try rerunning it once more to see how it comes in, but let's see. This is quite there, but not fully. I'm not fully happy with this, so I'm just gonna run it once again, and in a couple of seconds. So I think the VAE decoder is running. Okay, this model is comparatively better. So you can see the model has Lucky with his hands up, and the wings and everything have come in fine. The tail is not that great, but then this gives a quite good look in a Tetris based mode. I'm not sure if you like the blocks and everything, if you like to play with Legos. So in case this gives a Lego kind of a feel. But then this is some model which runs locally. I think I've seen this as the only model which can generate 3D models or 3D objects using Comfy UI at this point of time, at least. There might be definitely a lot of other models which people are probably working on, or there are models which I'm not aware of. So in case if you find something, please do let us know in the comments. These models, I'm not fully sure if I would really take this live in front of everyone, because this doesn't have any materials or anything associated. Probably something which definitely I have to do, but then we will definitely utilize another tool to make this look even better. So although this is not any way of canvassing about any of the tools, but here's one of the tools which I personally use a lot. It's called as Rodin AI, which gives you a free trial, and you can go ahead and create Hyper3D models to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the image generator. I'm going to use the same lucky model, and then it is processing the image, and I'm going to go ahead and click on generate. So it is uploading the image right now. Okay, and it has detected MSI. I don't want the MSI image to be coming in as part of it, but I'll just use the main lucky model. So I'll click on generate. It is currently generating the whole model, and let's see how the output of this comes up. So this is again one image based model generation, which will go ahead and it is going to generate all the images and everything. It will take a couple of seconds. This is a complete online tool. It's not something which you can run it locally as part of your system. I hope in a coming few months or probably even weeks, we don't know, with the kind of trend which we are seeing today, there are models coming out almost every day, and probably even more models as we speak. So when there are so many models coming out, you will be able to see that, you know, the local generation in terms of 3D models and everything are improvising day by day, and based on that you'll be able to find more and more set of items. I think this looks quite good thing. I don't want to redo, but we'll probably utilize this. So let's try to see how this looks in terms of 3D. Quite a good look in terms of the way how the model has been created. The MSI written in the front is kind of wumpy. That's one of the byproducts which is there as part of any of the AI models generating. The texts are basically not generated right unless until they are control nets and everything. There are definitely ways which you can do, but I don't think so I have a real control over this particular tool, and that is where I see that, you know, the model is getting generated. I think I'm happy with this particular part, so I'll just click on confirm. It takes up some credits of mine to go ahead and generate it. So it is generating the part, as in it is going to fix the geometry first, and then post geometry generation it is going to generate the materials. Materials are nothing but the colors, when the colors are perfected out, then you can go ahead and utilize the rest set of items. So I think it is in the process of generating that. You can check out different channels as well as to how it looks. So the material generation is there in progress. I think the higher level, okay, so the model is now optimized. Actually, you can see that it is quite smooth and smoothened in terms of the whole character. We'll click on generate in terms of no, I think the face is good, so I don't want to do a face regeneration. So this is generating the materials now, which is basically the red color and the golden color, which you can see on the back of the wings. Let's see how this comes up very quickly. By the way, to be honest, the tail is not right, but I think from a perspective of looking at a model, this is like a very fantastic model in terms of the way how it has generated. So we are going to look at all of these things. Okay, it is taking a couple of seconds more in terms of generating the materials, and here we are. Okay, the materials have generated. I think it has done quite few good work. There's some rework required on the back, on the wings, as the materials are crashing, and you can see there is some discolorations and everything, but overall pretty good, I guess. The model looks very clean, and we can utilize this model to create some more things. Let's try to confirm this, and we are going to download this particular model. Now here are the different types of objects which you can download. I prefer going ahead with .glb because this is something which we are going to utilize for making this available in form of a file for our AR generation, and as well as some of the other set of things which we are going to do it very quickly. So we are going to use this particular model and click on download. So it is going to pack up all of this assets together to make it exportable, and then we are going to utilize this in a tool called as Blender. So what is Blender? Blender is actually a 3D modeling tool, and it's one of the most powerful tools available, which is open source. So it's completely free of cost. So you can go ahead and you can download Blender. Of course, there are many other 3D modeling tools. Let us know which all tools you use in case if you're a 3D modeler. But then I personally prefer going ahead with Blender because it's free of cost, and plus on top of that it's community supported. I'm a big community fan in terms of the things people have been creating so far. So I'm going to use Blender for two reasons. So one thing is definitely in terms of the support for the community who has been contributing a lot on this. And then we are going to also see something very different. So people have been contributing in a way wherein they have used MCP server. They have created MCP server to go ahead and interact with AI tools. So you might have seen the way how we can utilize MCP servers in our previous videos, but then this is going to be a bit different. So I'm not sure if you use Claude, but I'm going to use Claude to do something better around this. So let's get started with working out in terms of the Claude setup with Blender. So there are a good number of things which you'll have to do. I have downloaded this particular model and I love it at this point of time. Of course, when I would do this for the outer world, as in create something really big out of this, at that point of time I would not use this model. I would refine it furthermore, smoothen it out, and do a lot of more things to make sure that the model is right. But this is just good for the demo purposes. So we are going to go ahead and get on to the next part. So first we will go ahead and we will download Blender. So you can go ahead and first we are going to go ahead and download Blender. So all you do is blender.com. Okay, so I am on the wrong place. Okay, so first we are going to do Blender. We are going to download Blender. So Blender download, and you will see blender.org. Blender 4.4. Okay, I think you can go ahead and download Blender 4.4. I personally prefer the LTS version. So download Blender, and you can select whichever operating system you want to. So you can click on download Blender. Once you download the Blender, then you can install it. And then we are also going to go ahead and use Claude for this. So I'm going to do Claude download, which will basically allow you to download Claude as part of your system. The next thing, after you have installed everything, we are going to go ahead with integration of MCP as part of Claude. So in order for us to do that, first you need to open up Claude. So let me quickly open up Claude, the app. There we are. We can go on new chat, and for you to go ahead and make sure that you are able to work out on the configuration of this. So what you need to do is you need to click on this particular tools, go down onto manage connectors, click on developer. This screen might look slightly different for you, but you can go ahead and you'll find the button of edit config. When you click on that, it is going to open up the Explorer for you, and then you will be having this particular file which you need to go ahead and edit. I'm going to open this up with Visual Studio Code. When I do that, you can see the desktop configuration. I already have the file system which allows you to go ahead and create files, which we have seen in our previous applications as well. So I'm going to go ahead and use Blender. I'm going to add up this particular Blender. This is as part of the documentation. But before we go on to the documentation of this, let me go ahead and actually show you the documentation and an amazing work being done by one of the persons, a community person who has been contributing to the MCP server for Blender. So here's the site. I'm going to paste up all of these links as part of the comments. So please make sure you check out all the captions of this particular video. So you will definitely get the whole tutorial as well to how to integrate and do all of these things, but we are going to quickly see how to do this. In order for you to go ahead and have this running, you will need Blender as well as Claude, of course, because we are looking at it. And then apart from that, you will have to install UV. So there are instructions for you to go ahead and install UV. If you are on Mac, you can go ahead and use brew install UV. In case if you are on Windows, here's the path, and then there is the desktop configuration which you can copy paste as well. Now apart from this, you will also have to do something on Blender. So I have Blender open with me. This is installed and this is the way how I saw it. All you got to do is first you need to download the file from the addon.py file from the link of the GitHub. Thank you Siddharth Ahuja, who has given this particular project. So as part of this, you have the addon.py. You just download this particular file as part of your system, and once you have downloaded this particular file, you need to go into Blender, edit, preferences, go on to add-ons, click on this arrow button, install from disk, and select that particular add-on and click on install from disk. I have already done this particular thing, and that is where I'm able to see Blender coming up here. And towards the right, I see item tool view Blender MCP, which is already visible. I'm going to quickly close Blender and open it once again, because sometimes you don't see these options coming up. So Blender, and as you can see, I just clicked outside. As you can see right now, you're not able to see the screens. So in order for you to see the screens, you see this arrow mark on the top, just drag it outside and you'll be able to see Blender MCP. Once you do that, make sure you click on connect to MCP server, and that will say a message saying that it is running on port. That's enough for us to keep an eye. And then we have our Claude, where everything has been configured. So make sure that after you have edited your config file for Blender, you have gone ahead and you have made sure that you have things running. So we are going to go on new chat, and here we are going to do a couple of set of things. So we are going to ask Claude to do a couple of things for us. So I'm going to first remove this cube so that the whole scene is visible and you can see how things are working out. So let me delete this particular cube, and then Claude, and we are going to ask it, add a sphere add a sphere in Blender. So what this is doing is, and hopefully everything is connected properly, what it will do is it is going to go ahead and execute a code. First it may ask for your permission, so I have always said that always allow, in which what it does is it goes ahead, it connects to Blender locally. Although it is utilizing Claude, the cloud version, it uses MCP to interact with any of the applications, and then it goes ahead and it has added up the sphere, which makes it look really very beautiful. This is good. So now what we are going to do is we are going to add up our model, and then we are going to start playing around with the scene. So this ensures that the tool of Claude has made sure that there is a connection between the actual scene, and it is also having a connection with the LLM. So let's go ahead. I'm again going to delete the sphere, and let's go ahead. I already have the model downloaded, so I'm going to extract this into, okay, so I have the base model. I'm going to use the basic GLB model. I'm going to paste it up here, import GLTF2. Okay, you can see the model which has been loaded up here. You can check out the shaded versions as well coming in here. Okay, there is some issue with this particular part, which will fix it very quickly in a couple of seconds. But then you can see the model which has been generated here. You can see the lucky model which is here. So we are going to have this particular model. Now let's go back to Claude, and we are going to start interacting with Claude to go ahead and add up a scene. So we are going to say add a dark dungeon scene around my character. In brackets, I'm going to say it is named as model, which is right here. You can see that it has been named as model. So we are going to say named model. The scene should be dark and the scene should be as such that my character is bringing light. Now let's see what Claude does for this. So it is going to start creating a dark dungeon scene. So it is one after the other going to start executing all the different types of Blender code. So it has created a small plane first, which is basically the base, and then it is going to start creating different set of items. So you can see that the dungeon floor has been created. It is working out on all the different types of items. So it has started creating some planes and everything. So this is quite naive. It does a lot of work. So we'll see how these things come up, and then we'll iteratively see how we can use Claude to further modify the scene, and we'll see how this looks. So it is still executing the code. You can see there's a point light which does all the work, and there's a dim ambient light which is being given from the top. Our model is still here. By the way, I'm utilizing the pro version of Claude, so a lot of things in terms of the way how these things work out, it requires a higher context windows. So you get to utilize higher context windows when you are on pro version. So at least as of when this video was getting created. So then based on that, you'll be able to do a lot of work. So you can see that shading is probably an issue. There we go, we see lucky. Everything is getting rendered. So I'm not sure if this is audible on the mic, but then the hardware monitoring, the GPU has really gone up. So it is taking a lot of memory to perform a lot of actions and everything. There's a lot of rendering, there's a lot of 3D rendering which is happening in, and you can see the CPU usage is going up and down again and again. So it is still going ahead and performing some of the actions. I think it has paused somewhere. Okay, no, so it has done that. However, it is not fully the right thing which I wanted, but then it still has created lucky. There is some objects around it which basically mimics like a dungeon. I'm going to tell Claude that the scene is not dark, and there is an extra plane right above my character. Can you improvise the scene with dark colors and make it look really like a dungeon? Also, use procedurally generated materials to make it look hyper realistic. Let's see now how this works out. So it is going to go ahead and it has understood that there is a darkness issue. It is going to remove the extra plane, and it is going to create hyper realistic procedural materials. Let's see how this is going to come up. It is really thinking very hard in terms of actually going ahead trying to understand the whole scene, and then there's a lot of to and fro which happens when the MCP is running in. So what happens is every time there is some interaction which is required by LLM, there is code which runs to go ahead get this scene. It all runs on Python, so that is why you require Python for doing all of these work. And then once the Python and everything has been loaded up, there is a server which is basically what we have just started running in. So the server is going to interact with the LLM via the MCP base or the bridge, and then it is going to go ahead, it is going to tell about the scene, what all things are there in the scene, how those scene needs to be interacted and everything. And LLM goes ahead, tries to understand and tries to create a code which will get generated. As you can see, now it is turning into black. Now it's giving a much more vivid color. It is still creating, it is still working behind the scenes. So what it is doing is it is trying to generate everything on the fly right now, wherein everything, each and every object which you see here is getting a lot of work, and it is doing a lot of work in terms of generating everything. So you can see that the stone blocks and everything are getting created. Now it is like really very dark. So as you can see, this is looking a lot pixelated. This is because it is in a shaded mode. I think that is called as the shaded mode. I don't have much knowledge about the Blender related aspects, but I think that is called as the shaded mode, yeah, or the rendered mode. If I shift to shaded mode, I think it will look much more better. That is basically the material view, and then you will be able to see a lot of things happening in around that. So Lucky will definitely be seen. You can see the point light coming up right here. Okay, so it says that it has completed all of this work, but then I'm not fully happy, and that's probably because there is still the plane which it forgot to remove. So I'm going to delete it by my own thing. So deleting that particular set of planes. Or I could have basically, so let me take up all of these walls. The walls were supposed to be there on the sides, and it has basically gone ahead and created on the top. We can ask Claude to go ahead and change this as well. Walls are laid flat in form of ceiling instead of towards the sides. Please fix. And I think yes, so it did detect. You are absolutely right. So let's see how it is going to fix this. It's executing some code. Just in case if it doesn't work out, then we are going to go ahead and we are going to change this a bit. Let's look at this in the shaded mode. There we go. Now it looks much more beautiful. It's rendering right now. It will take a couple of seconds because it's going to load this up, and it is going to render everything in a very nice, beautiful, good looking mode. I think it is still getting generated, and hence it is taking some time. There you see Lucky coming in very quickly. It looks much more professional now, right? When the point light and everything is rightly pointed up. This is the way how generally 3D modelers work out in the final rendered things. I think I'm happy with the scene for now. Is it still generating? Yes, I think it has completed the work. Let's look at it in this particular mode as well. So this is the way how it looks. So Lucky's placed there, there's point light and everything which is right around, and this is the way how it has created all of the items. When I go into the rendered mode is the point where it starts generating everything, you know, the final view, the rendered view as to how it will look. Of course, this will be quite different when you are generating a whole movie and everything using Blender, which you can. So it will take in all of these related things. You'll start animating. By the way, you can also animate using using the same thing. So you can write in prompts like animate Lucky, or we should call it as model here. So we are going to say animate my character to jump at its place. When I hit enter, it is going to write that particular code to go ahead, and you can see it is going to do that. It is going to set up all the keyframes and everything for us to go ahead and do that. So you can see that it is now setting in those keyframes, hopefully in a couple of seconds, and it will do all of the work. So it's executing. So this is the way how the code gets generated, and then it is going to keep on doing all of these work. You can see that the keystrokes and all of those things have been generated. So when I go ahead and utilize this, you can see it is jumping in. So it basically creates those animations and everything. Of course, you wouldn't really do this at a very long-term project. You would definitely go ahead and take an animator's help to go ahead and actually make this more realistic. At this point of time, this is just good for demo purposes to demonstrate as to how AI can be utilized to do a lot of work, but it is an amazing thing which you can do very quickly, and to see how, for the fun of it, how it looks and everything. So you can go ahead and definitely try this out by your own self. Do send us in videos in case if you're able to create something even better, and make sure that you check out people's work who have been doing a lot of things around the comments as well. So this is the part. Now let's bring up the ante. We are now going to go ahead and utilize this lucky model to go ahead and publish this. So we are going to utilize Firebase to go ahead and publish this particular model. So in order for us to do and go ahead and use Firebase, so what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead on our browser. We are going to go to console.firebase.google.com, where we can go ahead and we can create a project. So all you require is a free Gmail ID. Firebase allows you to have your own hosting. So in case if you're looking out for a good hosting, static file hosting with a lot of things around, so you can go ahead and you can use Firebase for creation of your projects. So click on create Firebase project. In that way it will ask for a name of the project. I'm going to call this as MSI model demo, and it is available. So we can go ahead AI model demo. We'll click on continue. I am not looking out for the AI assistant as part of this. Click on continue. I can enable Google Analytics. I will skip this for now, or let me go ahead and create it quickly. So I'm going to create a new account, and I'm going to call this as MSI models save, and the analytics location, I'll leave it as US. Okay, so this will take a couple of seconds. It will create a AI project for it will create a Firebase project for us, which we are going to utilize and utilize for doing a lot of stuff. So in order for us to go ahead and use Firebase CLI, which will be required for us to go ahead and serve all the files, what you need to do is you need to first set up Node.js. So all you got to do is go on to Node.js, type in for Node.js. You'll find the first link, which is nodejs.org. This is the right link. Go ahead and click on get Node.js, and you will get either, based on your operating system, of course, you will get the Windows installer, which is a .msi package, or you can go ahead and you can download the standard binary, standalone binary as well. If you are a developer or you aspire to become a developer, then you should go ahead and use NVM, which is much more easier for you to go ahead and switch between different Node versions. So all you got to do is just download the MSI installer, install Node, and then all you got to do is check out as part of your network tab or terminal, whatever you use, check out node version, and it says that I have version 22.18.0, which is exactly the one which we have right now. So Node is installed. Now the next thing what we need is Firebase CLI. So I'm going to directly say Firebase CLI. Go on to Firebase. I'll go ahead with Windows, which is what I want. So you can get a standalone binary directly from there, or I'm going to use the npm version for doing all of these things. So npm install -g Firebase tools. So I'm going to copy this particular command, execute it here, hit enter. It is going to go ahead and it is going to install the Firebase tools for me so that I can go ahead and I can deploy my application. So while this is happening, let me go ahead and make sure that we have something, another code editor or something of that sort, so you can prefer whichever one which you would like to go ahead and use. So you can go ahead. I personally use VS Code, so I'm going to showcase this on VS Code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first create a quick folder as part of my system. So let me go ahead and create it as part of my desktop. mkdir, which will create a folder for me. So I'm going to call this as AR demo and cd space AR demo. Now as part of this, so while installing Visual Studio Code, I had the ability of adding up the path. In case if you forgot to add that, what you can do is you can open up Visual Studio Code. You can press in Command Shift P. Okay, it's Command Shift P. No. Okay, or you can go ahead and you can click on the top and install. Oh, my bad. I think I missed out. I'm not sure exactly which one, but I'll make sure that I put it up as part of the comments. All you got to do is add path to the folder, and in that way you will be able to go ahead and use this particular command, which is code dot whatever it is. So I'm going to use code space dot, and when I do that, it opens up yes I trust. So you can go ahead and you can open up the Visual Studio Code directly as part of this. You can of course go ahead and say file, open folder, and then select that particular folder. Now what we are going to do as part of this is we are going to first create our index.html file. So index.html file, it's going to be index.html file. Now as part of this, you will definitely require an HTML template. We are going to share a link with you guys, a gist file, a very secretive gist file, which you can go ahead and you can paste it as part of your system. So I'm going to copy this whole of the HTML file, which is under 120 lines, and paste it up here. That's all I require. So as part of this, we are going to go ahead and have the GLB file. So let me get rid of the other set of images which we had. And the next thing which I need to do is I need to utilize the downloaded file which we had. So I'm going to utilize this basic PBR file. I'm going to paste it up here. So the file is now available as part of my same folder, and I just have to reference this particular file here. So this is going to reference the model viewer. So what is model viewer? Let me quickly show you what this is. So we are going to look at model viewer. Model viewer is a small library by Google. It's a web component which you can go ahead and utilize to place up your 3D models and showcase it in web AR. So all you got to do is you need to create your own model, a 3D model, export it in form of .glb. And once you have given that GLB file, you can just reference the same HTML content which you just saw. You just utilize the same HTML and just reference your model. Make sure that it is there in the same one. In case if you're a developer, you already know what to do as part of it, because it's referencing in file. So you just go ahead and add up this particular file or reference that particular file, and you are good to go. So we are using model viewer as part of it, and a 3D model of, I'm going to change this to Lucky. So that's how you are going to have it. Now there's one more other tool which we are going to install to make sure that we can see this locally. So I'm going to say npm i-g serve. This is basically a small package. Serve is a small package which you can go ahead and use to host an index.html file or a static file as part of your local system. So I'm going to use, the first part is to install serve. The next part is we are going to say serve -p, which is I believe a port. We are going to use 8888, and what it is going to do is it is going to start a local server on port 8888 so that we can go ahead and we can check out our files of index.html. And I'm doing this as part of the terminal which is set within VS Code itself. So I'll hit enter, and it has started a server on localhost 8888. So when I open up this, you can see now the lucky mascot is available. It says AR demo by Arshad Devani, and this particular model which we had created is now visible here. So which means when I publish this particular link, and we will make sure that the link is coming into you guys as well. So this particular model will be usable by you as part of AR. Stay tuned. We are going to showcase how this will look as well. So the next part is, of course, we need to go this and publish this particular thing on our hosting site so that we can go ahead and showcase it out to public. So what we are going to do now is, now that I've checked that it works and fine, so I'm going to stop this particular web server, and Firebase has already been installed. So what we are going to do is, now we are first going to type in Firebase login to make sure that we have logged into Firebase. So Firebase login will allow us to go ahead and log in onto Firebase so that it can fetch our credentials and everything. Not right now, and yes, you can go ahead and use the CLI once. So it is now utilizing my account so that it can go ahead and it can fetch which all different types of accounts have been which all different projects I have created, and then it will allow you to go ahead and utilize Firebase as part of your system. So you can see that it has successfully logged in using my email ID, and now I'm good to go. So the first command which we are going to put up is Firebase init, which will ensure that the Firebase has been initialized as part of your project. So I will hit enter. So Firebase initialization will happen, and it says you are as part of this directory, and are you sure you want to proceed? I'm going to say yes, and it is going to ask which all things you want. So you can of course use this amazing features of Firestore, GenKit, functions, app hosting, as long as you know. You have hosting, which we are going to utilize. So it basically is for Firebase hosting, and in case if you want, you can of course use GitHub Actions to deploy as well. For the folks developer, highly recommended, try it out, it's wonderful. So hosting is what we are going to select, and I'm going to click on enter. Then we are going to use an existing project because we already utilized this particular project, and we are going to search out. So I have several projects running out for me. I love Firebase, and I have been doing a lot of work around it. So I am going to search for MSI AI model demo, and that is what I'm going to utilize right now. So I'm going to use this. It is saying that we will utilize the public directory. You can either go ahead with public directory or just hit dot, which will basically mean that it is going to go ahead with the same one. And it asks if you want to configure for single page applications. Single page applications are a way for you to say that there is just one application, one probably an index.html file, and not multiple, and all the redirections will happen there. So the routing is handled by the client app, which basically means your JavaScript is going to take over, and it is going to do a lot of work around it. So yes, it's a single page app is what I'm going to say. And no, I don't want to set up GitHub right now. And do you want to override? No, I don't want it to override. So we are good. I think the Firebase JSON has been completed, and let's quickly check out all of these things. The Firebase JSON looks good. Public is here, /destination. Let's go ahead and try out. So the only thing what we now need to do is Firebase deploy. Sorry. As soon as we do this, what it is going to do is it is going to create a small package for us. It is going to do a lot of work. It found out already that there are 2 files. It has uploaded that file, and we are done. The deployment is completed, and the hosting URL is available. So it is MSI-AI model-demo.web.app. Let's go ahead and check out this particular one. Yes, I would like to open this. And when this is getting loaded up, you can see that lucky model is loaded up. The image, the whole model is available. Now here's the part. Check out the link which is there in the comments or in the caption, and then based on that, try this out in your at your home. So you can actually go ahead and check out Lucky right in your room. We are going to show this in a moment. But before we do that, make sure that whatever you are creating, any of the 3D models, whichever you're creating, you paste it up here as part of the comments, and we'd love to see them. So here's what we have done so far. So we have gone ahead and we have created a 3D model using AI, and we have hosted this particular model. We have seen how you can utilize Claude to generate a lot of things or interact with Blender to do a lot of work, and then how you can utilize MCP to connect Claude with Blender to create your own scenes. And then finally we utilized Firebase to host this particular model using AR. Now you might be thinking that you are not able to see this in AR. Wait till you open it up on your mobile phones. Whenever you open up this one on your mobile, you'll see a small button on the bottom right which will allow you to see this in 3D, and that is the point where WebAR comes into the picture. So the model viewer which we saw takes care of all of those things, and it showcases a button on the bottom which uses your mobile's native APIs to go ahead and render this particular 3D model on your phone and then in the environment which you are in. So if you're thinking to create your own Pokemon Go game, here's the chance for you to do so. Of course, there's a lot more work around it, but then you can definitely start somewhere.
Now let's see how you can see this 3D models in live. You can go onto the particular hosted site, and once you have been onto the hosted site, you'll be able to see how Lucky looks. You can play around with it here, but now let's see how this will look in real life. All you got to do is press this button on the bottom which you see. When you press on this particular button, it may prompt you on your phone if you would like to check out this 3D model live. So you can click on yes, and once you do that, it will open up the camera, and when you see as part of this camera, you'll be able to see that the Lucky is somewhere around in this particular section. So you can play around with it, you can move around in this particular section, you can start growing the size from this small to this small, or you can try literally doing anything with it. So you can even have animations around this particular part, the way how Lucky looks. So imagine a case wherein Lucky was playing around in this particular section. Wouldn't that be really nice? So we would request you to try out your own set of models, try to see how this looks around in your environment, and post in your pictures as part of the comment to see how it looks. You can create your own models and animations to furthermore work on this particular part and show us what all different models you have been working on.
So let us know how you like this particular workshop, and be ready. Then after the next workshop, you are going to have a quiz, and if you answer all the questions right, then you get a chance to win amazing goodies from MSI as well as amazing devices. So stay tuned and look out for the next workshop. Thank you. Have a great day.